listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the
You are now listening.
You're listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell him that. Birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's something, don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever.
You're muted.
Oh, hold on here. For all things Pelicans. There we go. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in this episode of PPR. Much love to the fam. I'm Big Q. We got Lex in the building as well. She was we just did a what you call it? A Van Quillet's tranquilla, whatever it's called. The puppet where you talk. If I can hear you. All right, big ups to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for being in the live. Much love, man. Oh yeah, we switching them up. Kayaks, what happened to the Edge? The Edge is still in effect, man. You see, Lexa is the inventor of the Edge. We still in effect. We got it. It's two different intros. We'll roll them out. We'll probably close with the Edge at the end of the show too. So we'll flip flop them. No biggie. But then big ups to y'all, man, on tonight's show. We'll go over a few news notes tonight, y'all. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Very busy sports Saturday, man. A lot of stuff. I watched some boxing earlier today with the light heavyweight unification bout between Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, which we watched that one. That was actually controversial. They cheated him out, in my opinion. And of course, LSU, my squad right now, is losing to Ole Miss 17-13 at the top of the third.
Points though. They scored 3 points.
There you go. So we hanging in there. A lot of mistake football in that game right now with LSU. They got to get the stuff together. But in terms of the Pelicans, man, much love to y'all, man. We're going to go over some news, notes, and items here. DC will join us later on in the broadcast. And we'll start off with this interview from Shams Charania. Of course, he replaced Adrian Wojnarowski as the ESPN insider there. So we're going to listen to what he had to say about Zion Williamson. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear this. Here we go.
I was about to say we used to, like, that was regular programming, and I don't know. I'm a little disappointed.
Ty Schmidt sent me a text. He said, Sean's on all these shows. I haven't heard one single Zion.
What's going on?
I haven't heard a single thing about Zion. Obviously, Zion last year. Here we go. This is Zion. Then I saw some photos from him for Media Day. This is Zion.
Whoa.
Here we go. Are we in the Zion is megastar, all-star, superstar in the NBA conversation and era right now, Shams? Is that how it feels like, right?
Pat, everyone around the Pelicans believes he's primed for a big season. And a lot of that is because
triple-double whole year, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
In past years, at this point of training camp or early in the season, there's always been an injury. There's always been something with Zion Williamson where he hasn't been up to snuff. He hasn't been really at the same level as all his teammates as far as conditioning, where he's at physically. And I think now he's not playing himself into conditioning. He already is in great shape. He looks great. He's focused. He's ready to go. And that is a Zion Williamson we have not seen over the course of the entire season. He worked with the Pelican staff for all summer. And that was very important for him. That was very important for the Pelicans. That's not something he's done in past offseasons. There hasn't been a single NBA season where he's come in to training camp and looked this dominant in the eyes of the Pelicans. And he's going to be all over the court too, Pat. This role that they're going to play him in, he's going to be a hybrid player. He's going to play the 4, maybe some 5. But hear this, Pat. I'm told Herb Jones is essentially going to serve as the starting center for the Pelicans. I think everyone right now, you look at CJ McCollum, DeJounte Murray, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, and Zion Williamson. A lot of people are like, oh, Zion Williamson's playing the 5. And Willie Green came out the other day and said he's not the 5. He's a, we're not talking about 5s. We're talking about positionless. And I do think there's some credence to that. But then someone's going to have to guard the other centers, and it's going to be Herb Jones a lot of the time.
Okay, I like to hear that. Thank you for that information. We are obviously massive Pelicans fans. I think you did leave out a part where you said, like, this is different than it's ever been. I think the reason why it's even better that it's this early is because last year, 70 games, okay? 22, 5-5 whenever he played, all right? The guy is an absolute weapon when he's on the court. For whatever reason there, for the first 4 years of it, whether it was injuries or feeling as if he wasn't in shape enough. Well, he's done 2-on-2. He hasn't done 3-on-2 or 4-on-4, 5-on-5. That's what we heard through this entirety. And then lo and behold, another season has passed and we didn't get Zion because he wasn't in shape. Now it's like he played a bunch last year, got a taste of it, got a taste of what it could feel like. Yep. He's experienced it. Coming to the offseason, he knows what he wants. Zion's about to be all-star. Let's go.
Go, Zion.
This team will go as far as he's going to push them. Obviously, Brandon Ingram plays a big part. They just traded for DeJounte Murray as well. It's CJ McCollum. Trey Murphy the third. He's going to be a massive piece for this team as well. Like Trey Murphy and how he does. He's extension eligible. He's going to be in line for a big contract, whether that's now or in free agency. But this team, this is as talented of a Pelicans team as I can remember in quite some time. I guess you can look at the Drew Holiday, Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, Rajon Rondo Pelicans team. I guess you could debate which one's more talented, but this team, everyone in New Orleans knows Zion Williamson is their franchise piece. He has to stay on the court. He has to stay healthy. They finally believe. Hopefully this is the year. I mean, right, for basketball fans, we've been talking about it. We want to see Zion Williamson on the court. We want to see him healthy.
Hell yeah, Zion. Let's go. Go.
All right. That's what you heard what Shams basically broke down, and he talked about what Zion Williamson, this skit played about. And he talked about Zion Williamson. We know pretty much all of that in terms of Zion's health. That's been well documented throughout the summer. What's really interesting is the giblet about him talking about Herb Jones instead of Zion being predominantly the guy they play at the 5 position. He mentioned Herb Jones is the guy they want to play at the 5 position. Now that just to me, and I'm not casting dispersions on Sham stuff, and I do have questions about, me and you talked about this, Lex, about some of his report, especially when he did that Scoop Henderson crap that I was talking about. It was total misinformation, so we got to keep an eye out on some of these things he drops. But in the end, you just gonna have to show me. You got to say, even though I'm from New Orleans, you're going to have to say I'm from Missouri, because you're going to have to show me about this whole Herb Jones playing the center thing. First, it was Zion playing the center thing. We talked about the fragility of that. And then we talk about nice Herb Jones. Who else is going to be? I tell you, next week is going to be Jose Alvarado. But who do you think? What do you think about some of this news about Herb Jones they're making about him playing, or the idea about Herb Jones playing the 5?
I think it's kind of ludicrous a little bit. I'm not against small ball. Excuse me. I'm not against small ball at all. I think it does work. But again, I always go back to, you can't teach size. And I'm looking at the trends of the NBA right now. And the trends of the NBA say that teams have beefed up their front court. I feel like what you're doing, whether it's Herb, whether it's Zion, I feel the same way with Zion playing the 5, the same thing with Herb. You're taking Herb away from what maximizes his potential. Where he's best is when he is guarding at that wing position, not in the front court. That's not going, like, and we have to think, like, how are we maximizing our players? How are we maximizing them? And with Zion, I said, we're not maximizing his abilities by putting him at the 5 because his best strong suit is when the ball is in his hands, when he's getting downhill. Nobody can handle his girth with that quickness. And then you look at Herb, Herb playing on the wing, he already gets in foul trouble. He already does that. So by you putting him down low, you know what I'm saying? And we'll have to, this is yet to be seen because right now all of this is talk. You know, we're
Right.
not really going to see what's going on because that's been the talk of the town as far as her playing that 5 position. But man, these front courts have like really beefed up, and we know that coaches from other teams, they can coach. They make adjustments. They don't have a problem with that. And we know like, hey, beat that ball down low. Throw that ball down low. You know what I'm saying? Like basically we're just going to be giving away free layups, especially when they have the positioning, But I mean, that's a lot to ask from Herb. That's a lot. And then, man, getting down low, y'all, it's physical down there. It's physical. So you have to go against physicality as well as you have to tango with the height of opponent teams. That's a lot.
Lex, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm a logical thinker. I'm a pretty common sense dude, and I've been doing this for a while. And when I hear stuff like this, and like I said, I don't want to say too much about it because I have questions about this type of information that's coming out right now. The Willie Green talked about when he made mention, and we covered this on Flash Reports and other shows about when he had the idea about Zion playing the 5 position. He started talking about teams like Golden State in particular, Draymond Green, and small ball looks. At some times he said that this could be something, they could investigate. But in terms of Herb Jones being a regular center that they roll out, you're going to have to prove that to me. I don't believe that at all. I'm sorry. I don't believe that. Doesn't make any sense. It's too stupid.
And that's why I was saying
that's too stupid.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, this is just based off of what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's stupid, man.
It's true. It is a concern, man, because we want to maximize guys. We want to maximize the players on the team. We don't want to take away what make their strengths. Right. What makes them great in that role or in that position or just as a basketball player. And I feel like they're willing to do that. If this is true, you all are willing to do this instead of Griff, you doing your job and getting a big man in here, because that's what I feel like you're basically using them to cover up for your mistake of not going out there and getting a big man. You knew you were going to lose JV. You knew this. And then, and the fact that they're saying Griff, Bryson Graham, and Willie Green, when asked about that center position on media day, they all said, oh, we're just going to figure it out. We don't know. Like, what? This is what they said. That's what they said. I mean, it's like, how can you say that you don't know or you're trying to figure it out? You had all off season to do something. Like, that's poor planning and basically because you did not do your job, you're putting that on a Herb Jones. You're putting that on a Zion Williamson. All right, y'all got to do more. They're not 7-footers. Zion is 6'6". Herb Jones is 6'7", arguably 6'8". I don't know why that's up there. It's just it's concerning, man. I just feel like, because they didn't do their part, it's on these guys to play out of position, and it shouldn't be like that.
No, I'm not buying it. I think at times that the Pelicans will go small if it's beneficial in certain looks. Like if they playing a smaller team, like you've seen teams throughout the NBA use small ball lineups, in particular Golden State, using Draymond at the 5. That's the idea that they're trying to borrow. to try to have Zion because the Pelicans are trying to get who they believe their 5 best players on the court at the same time. That's what they're trying to do. That's what, when you talk about maximizing the players, Lex, that's what the idea is in terms of small ball is. They're trying to get those 5, the best 5 on the floor. But at the same time, that whole situation about what he was saying about them playing Herb Jones 6'8", plus at first it was Zion. And then when there was blowback about it was Zion talking about playing a 5, and I knew exactly what the man meant. I don't know. I knew he wasn't going to be talking about Zion Williamson is going to be at the 5 position battling it out with Embiid or the Joker or all these other guys. That's stupid. That's not when it's beneficial to go there, you go there. And it's heard now. It went from Zion, and then Willie was like, "That's not what we were talking about." We did da. He explained.
Ain't no 5 either.
Then he went to the information went to Herb Jones playing the 5. So I mean, it just gets more ridiculous. That's why I'm like, I don't believe that shit, because it's not like the Pelicans don't have 7-footers on the team. They got guys, they got bigs on the team. They're not, some of these bigs, they're raw. Some of them unproven, but at the same time, they have bigs on the team. So basically what the Pelicans did was they just, flopped the point guard position for what they was doing. They got a bona fide floor general with DeJounte, and then the 5 position, with Big V gone, they got all these different 5, these Mekovic and Trey Jemerson and Yves Misi. And then, of course, you have Daniel Tice. So, I mean, they got guys. And there was reports that leaked out about him playing 15 to 20 minutes a night. I think all this is just a lot of rhetoric and propaganda right now. We have to see exactly what's going on in camp. And then once camp gets over with, we'll see some of this stuff kind of normalize itself. But all this stuff about Herb Jones, I don't believe that shit for 1 minute, man. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lex.
No, I'm just saying, like, we have seen Herb play the 5. We've seen Zion at the 5. So we know that they've done it before. I mean, so it's not uncommon. We know what Willie Green did with Larry Nance, because I saw the comments as far as, getting worked up. But we know what's been done just last season. Especially towards the end of the season when they went, small ball. And I know they did in that game against the Warriors, that was a really good game, but it worked with them. They don't have a traditional, they have Kayvon Looney, but Kayvon, he's pretty, we could use Kayvon on this team. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he for the most part, he's a solid big man. But, we've seen those situations where Herb has been down there, and the same thing with Zion. But my thing is, so we know that they're capable of doing it because they've done it before.
Yeah.
And, it is. So I'm not saying that I fully believe, but we know that they've done it, and that's based off of, just that right there, because they, Willie has put that type of lineup out there. But it is, if this is true, which I'm hoping that it's not, like I said, I want to see it. Really, I'm at this point, I'm like, hey, I just want to see what's going on for myself. It's not like you said with Shams. We know what he did last season. He started uproar, and
with that Scoot Henderson nonsense, man.
And that wasn't right. I don't really care for Shams. Really, he was fine for the most part up to that point, but that was really bad what he did. That was an all-time low.
Yeah, even Wendy didn't want to touch it. Adrian Wojnarowski, the true insider, he ain't touched that shit with a 10-foot pole.
No, he showed it.
And when I say, I said, listen, if Wojnarowski ain't saying, I ain't buying it, because he's one of them dudes that ain't gonna put his reputation on the line just to get some pop press right quick. But anyway, we're not talking about Willie Green. Willie Green having Herb Jones or a Zion Williamson continual starting consistently at center position lineup, like rolling out against 7-footers. You'll see in certain aspects of the game, they'll roll out a look, something like that, but not like he's making it sound like this is supposed to be something where they're going to be starting them every night. Nah, get out of here with that. I'm not buying that shit, man. Not buying that at all. But anyway, let's keep it moving, Lex, because this is an article that we wanted to talk about with the 5 position. Like I said, a lot of questions are being asked but it's training camp right now. We're going through the practices. The team have to iron out the wrinkles. They have to redefine roles. We talked about this in the stream prior to the stream going on, that this is a part of the game, and this is where it's supposed to happen. It starts here, training camp, hitting the practice, getting these guys together, figuring out how this current team is going to operate, who's going to do what role we want you to play. This is the philosophy, this type of stuff right here. Anyway, let's kind of dig into this right here, this article right here from Scott Politek from Bleacher Report. And this is, from different, Willie Green's interviews and others talking about how Brandon Ingram is dominating that Pelicans practice amid the trade rumors, which is some good news, right? That BI is dominating that practice, and the term is dominate. That came from Willie. While Brandon Ingram's uncertain future with the Pelicans has led to plenty of trade speculation as he entered the final season of his contract, he's reportedly dialed in ahead of the 24-25 campaign. Pelicans head coach Willie Green said, quote, he's not just fitting in, he's dominating. Following one practice by Will Guillory of The Athletic, Guillory noted that it has been a constant buzz among people and organizations surrounding Ingram's phenomenal play in practice sessions. Part of the optimism comes from the Duke product working on his overall shot-taking approach and perhaps not relying as much on his mid-range jumpers, right? This adds to the overall vibe at training camp for the Western Conference team, as ESPN's Shams Charania reported Thursday that the organization also believes that Williamson is primed for a big season because he's healthy and coming off a summer when he worked with New Orleans. Pelicans were swept in the first round of the playoffs by OKC last season. Williamson was sidelined by a hamstring injury. What's more, they adjusted by trading for DeJounte Murray this offseason, which elevates the team overall ceiling. A go-to group of Williamson, Murray, Ingram, CJ can be among the Western Conference best if everyone remains healthy. And that's not even getting into the quality role players of Herb Jones, Jose Alvarado, and others. Yes, the Western Conference is loaded. Yes, Ingram's future with the organization remains very much up in the air, but the Pelicans have enough talent to challenge for a deep playoff run, especially if the optimism surrounding Williamson and Ingram turns out to be warranted once the games start counting in the standards. And that's something that we often talk about. It's like everything flows through Zion Williamson. This year, he comes here. It's none of that negative stuff. Like from years past, it'll have Zion Williamson. Is he hurt, Lex? Is he not hurt? Is he ready to play? Or you get the start of the season press conference where David Griffin alludes to Zion hurting his foot, but we'll have a timeline. And when we get to this date, we'll have another update. And then after that date, and that whole we lived through all that, but none of that this year was Zion Williamson. He's in the best shape of his career coming into this thing. He looked good in the first preseason matchup. That's not the thing. This time around is Brandon Ingram and his contract situation. So let's delve into the fact that BI is dominating in practice. That's coming from your boy Willie. What do you think about that?
I'm not buying it like that.
Okay, so
I mean,
hold on now. Come on now.
No.
Why are you not buying it?
Because Willie Green, I saw
Will Guillory said it. Will Guillory said it too now.
That's because Willie Green said it. He was quoting from Willie Green. Willie Green was the only one who said that. That's just about how I feel. The best freaking duo in the league after one game, the first game against the Grizzlies last season. I mean, look, has anyone other than Willie Green described Brandon's game as dominant? And this is nothing to take away from Brandon's game, but has anyone ever described his game as dominant? I'm just asking a question.
Okay.
You know, Willie makes comments like that, but I get it.
But Lex, the man, you know what I'm saying? So to be honest, the man said, Lex, that he was dominating. Okay, he didn't use that he was doing that he was great. He said he was dominating. So what do you think
I know,
about that?
but the thing is, you know what? That's just as bad as somebody's like they were playing like they were generational. You starting to hear generational talent a lot. You see what I'm saying? If everybody's a generational talent, then nobody is, right? And it's It's Willie Green who said that. Nobody else said that. Not even when they interviewed the players that day. They didn't say that. And I'll be listening to everybody. So, I mean, I take that like a grain of salt. And it's like, okay, he's doing well in training camp. I like to think he is. It's like, by this being a contract year, he's gotta play a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's plenty of motivation and things of that things of that nature. So I just kind of take that as a grain of salt because, I mean, it's like, how much stock are we putting into what Willie says? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but that's good information because
I mean, yeah, he's shooting threes. I mean that's what the team needs. That's what the team's been needing. But I don't know if I would go to the extent of saying, dominant. And plus, not only that, we haven't seen Brandon in a preseason game. I know that it's just been one, but Brandon's not going to play a preseason game until the very last one. And I guess that's against Houston. So we won't be seeing this dominating Brandon that he's talking about until the last game. So.
Well, I mean, but my whole point is I still think it's still a positive thing to hear. Now, he might have embellished. Let's just say that. You saying he's embellishing here. Is that what you're saying, Lex? He's embellishing. Is that what he's doing?
I mean, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying?
He's embellishing.
We haven't seen it. We haven't seen anything, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, they're holding off Brandon, obviously, for what reason again?
They have the rest issue. That's what they said on there. It was the declaration that I remember getting. The alert that I got was they were giving him rest. That's why he didn't play in the first preseason game.
Okay. Well, we've been saying it, Big Q. We want to see it. I mean, just like, it's one of those things, like, I think this year really it's more so seeing it, like, let's see those changes, the pick and rolls, the knocking down those threes. We want to see those in games. And, the opportunities are coming. So I'm excited about that, see what goes on there.
All right.
I'm gonna come back in because my sister
froze?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine, Lex. All right. Stacy asked the question, Q, is Griff a Danny Ferry guy? Let me look that up right quick, my brother. Let me see what I can find on. That's a good question. Let me see if I can. Ferry. Yeah, let me hold on. Yeah, let me see, because I got the site pulled up. David Griffin was the vice president of basketball operations for the Cavaliers from 2010 to 2014, and then he became the general manager from 2014 to 2017. So he was there from 2010 to 2017, which is 7 years. And Danny Ferry came along. Let me see. When did Ferry get on the scene? Danny Ferry held the role of general manager for the Cavaliers from 2005 to 2010. So he preceded David Griffin before he got there. He was there from 2005 to 2010. And he had a record of 27 and 138 and enjoyed the NBA's best regular season record in 08, 09, and 09 and 010. Advanced to the 07 finals, making the franchise's first and only top trip to the NBA finals. Now that's what it's saying here. And that's when is this dated? Back in 2012. So they're talking about Danny Ferry, who also, by the way, Danny Ferry had he was here with New Orleans as an advisor. If y'all remember, Danny Ferry got fired from Atlanta for some stuff he said about Luol Deng, but the Pelicans did have him here as an advisor, I want to say, for a while. I don't think he's still doing that role. But yeah, according to the bio for Danny Ferry, he preceded Griffin. He was there from 05 to 2010. And then Griffin came in there from 2010 to 2017. So he preceded him. So I don't think he's from the same tree as Danny Ferris, Jackson fam. So I hope I kind of helped you out on that. All right, big ups to the fam. Steph says, Will Guillory did say it. He hears someone said it too. I just don't remember who it was. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said somebody mentioned it wasn't just him that heard Willie saying it, but they're saying there were people that, and I think it was some of the coaches that were kind of hitting on it. You didn't hear the coaches saying it, but that was the talking from the practice session, how good Brandon Ingram's looking in practice. And maybe Willie probably embellished it a little bit, and he would be smartly to do that, being that this guy is on the trade block. So I think that is a very smart maneuver for Willie Green to do, because ultimately, the Pelicans are not going to pay BI. Sorry to say, but embellish him a little bit. Oh, he looks terrific. He looks great. He's this and that. You want to kind of speak that into fruition right there. You know what I'm saying, Lex? Willie's Pelicans notice says Green is telling BI to get in, and BI is laughing at him. Yeah, that's right. He did. He drafted Bennett. He drafted Deion Waiters. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He did. Griffin did some terrible stuff. He did a few head scratchers here as well. But anyway, yeah, this is very interesting, Lex, but still it's a positive. This is still what I want to hear into camp, as opposed to the negative stuff, as we heard the proverbial cloud over the Pelicans nation, because Brandon Ingram's not happy about his role. Right now, we don't exactly know right now, because this is what the preseason is for. Finding out what role and what way we want these players to play. And like I said, and I don't think you heard it on Willie Green's interview, we did the last stream. It was actually on I'm gonna tell you which interview it was, Lex, that he said that it was the postseason, not postseason, the Pels and Magic recap presser. The post-game presser, Willie came on and he talked about it, and we played it. And during the presser, he made mention of the fact that Borrego has been on him. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all remember hearing that, because we played that for the stream there, because Lex didn't hear that. But he was saying how Borrego has been getting on him about the offense, which is what I was saying, is that if he's going to have success to improve upon himself, and we don't want to get there, but he got to utilize his he got to work through Borrego, because Willie's more defensive, Borrego's offensive. So you got to have a balance there.
Now, is that when they said that Borrego was getting animated? Because I heard about that, like, he got really aggressive in practice. I think that was like day 3 of training camp or something.
Yeah, that was matter of fact, I think I played a clip of that, because I showed a picture of that.
That's the same thing then, because I know a lot of, there was a lot of talk about that, but I didn't really hear the I guess the post thing. But yeah, I knew he got really upset in practice, and it got physical.
Well, that's good. Yeah, because that's big time. Violence. Yes, which is
I like that.
Well, that's what we're supposed to do. We supposed to be fighting, though. We
need violence. No, we need violence. You know what I'm saying? Like all around.
I mean, but isn't that the upsetness that you gotta have? Because they were too laid back and timid the last couple of years. You got to get upset. You got to, at some point, the pressure. Yeah, you got to get pissed off. You got to get in your bag, because that's what it's going to be called upon, because you have the reputation that they've earned of being a team that people can push on and you can rattle them. We got to shake that. And the way they're doing, they're getting frustrated, they get more up, and they kind of graduating away from this soft basketball cult bullshit that David Griffin and Willie Green was putting together.
And that small ball, you're gonna have to adopt playing with violence, speed and violence. That's what Borrego said during that Dallas game when Willie was out sick, and being physical. Because the thing is, these teams are coming, man. I mean, that's one thing and Dallas did it to the Pelicans first. They got physical with the Pelicans, and it basically had just a ripple effect for the rest of the season. Like, because everybody else started doing it. It's like, you got to pick it up. You got to you got to play with the edge, play with that it factor, play with violence, and get after it and be aggressive, because with that small ball and no aggression, no violence, no any of that, it ain't gonna work. You can't be laid back in that small ball, and we know we're gonna see it. So if you're gonna play small ball, hey, you got to get it. You got to get it. Kick it into the next gear.
Well, I mean, we had some pretty pathetic sayings in Pelican recent lore when Stan Van Gundy here. He talked about nobody was going to punk us. The last year of Elvin Gentry's tenure, the Pelicans had the stupid motto, passion, purpose, pride, that kind of whatever the hell they said. This time around,
it's kind of similar this year.
Well, the thing is, they got to show something else, because that's one of the things that's been missing from the Pelicans. Like, is they too laid back, like they got all the time in the world.
And it's always been like that. Like,
that's not like that this year.
Like, look, throw a chair on the court or something. Literally. Just something. Maybe not exactly like that, but just they gotta have it, man. They gotta have it. They gotta have it. You can't, and then the energy, they got to come out immediately and get up into guys. You got to send a message at right from the jump. I mean, and I definitely want to. I definitely want to see that, because they got to have it. They got to have it. This team is small compared to a lot of teams, if not every team in the NBA. So we gotta come with it.
Yeah, I like despite all of the stuff that we're hearing, like I said, we're gonna take all of these reports with a grain of salt until we get more information about how the team looks, because the reality is the Pelicans have all these players, and if they're, and I'm like I said, when you go into the next year, you're not gonna go into the next year with the same shit that you did last year, because you're gonna basically get the same results. So you have to tweak things, in which you have these different players here. In Murray's temperament and what he has and what he's being brought in for, that's an aggressive dude. That's an alpha dog. So you have a DeJounte Murray at the point guard position. Guys got to fall in line. So don't be surprised to hear some fussing that's going on at training camp, because guys are doing shit that they did last year, as opposed to, listen, they can't have two floor generals out there at the same time. There's one dude that's going to do that. CJ, you fall in line. Whoever else got to fall in line. You see what I'm saying? How this offense is going to run. And if it's time for Zion to do his thing, it's time for him to do his thing. But outside of that, if Zion not controlling the ball or he not doing his thing, Lex, that's DeJounte Murray setting up everything. And everybody else got to fall in line. No ifs, ands, or buts. If they don't like that, the hell with it.
Yeah.
We got to win here. That's what it come down to it.
Yeah. And definitely, even in the preseason game, I saw like quite a few times where CJ, he was trying to handle the rock, and it's like, DeJounte is on your left. Give the ball to him, and you go set up and shoot, dog. You're the two guard. So, just from what I'm seeing, you're still, you can see that he's still trying to, do that stuff as far as, from last season. It's like, CJ, man, you know where you need to be at. Okay? Uncondition yourself. Let's put you where you can succeed, which is that two guard. Let DeJounte and Zion handle that stuff, because it's nice, because we saw with DeJounte some of the things, not exactly the same, but when Lonzo was here, you know what I'm saying? As far as really pushing the ball up to Zion, especially when he was getting downhill, going full speed. You know what I'm saying? We need to see that again. We haven't seen that in years. And that's nice, because we want to start seeing more easier baskets. Every basket should not be hard. That's crazy. So if we can, start seeing those easy baskets, the ones that we kind of saw similar to when Lonzo's here, I think with this situation, DeJounte's getting in those pick and rolls. That's what we've been wanting to see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not,
Yeah.
and we know the lobs are going to be there from half court, 3/4, things like that. But to get in that pick and roll, that's like next level, because again, Zion coming off of that pick and rolling to the basket, getting downhill with that girth and that speed that can't nobody stop. We saw that in the first preseason game. And Murray had what, 6 assists?
Yep. 6.6 assists, I won't say.
Look, most of them, if not all of them, came from when he got the ball to Zion in that pick and roll. That's what we've been needing. That's what we've been needing. So between the pick and roll and, like I said, getting the ball, getting it down court and like transition, right off the inbounds play, just like we saw with Lonzo. Man, it's gonna be nice to see easy baskets again. Because I don't know how. I don't know. I it's hard to say when the last time we saw easy baskets from the Pelicans. You know what I'm saying?
It's and that's true. And I mean, you have all this talent. So we looking at the facilitation. I'm not just to the passing of the ball. The question from Trapper BG says, do you think DeJounte Murray can pass than Lonzo, or he's a better passer than Lonzo? Is that what you're talking about, Trapper B? To me, DeJounte Murray to me is he can do a little bit of everything, man. That's like a 20-point scorer. He plays defense. He gets to the hoop. He can do a lot of different positive things for you. I love the mentality that he plays with, the command that he'll have over the offense. We haven't had that type of player here in a while, man. So having him there with Zion, and really Zion's job is to make everybody's life easier, because I mean, you can't stop him when his mind's made up. Like he's saying, this dude is like a barrel somebody glued a bunch of spikes on, running downhill. I mean, you can't deal with that. And plus, everybody will benefit from that because he'll be, everybody be paying attention to him. He makes the game easy for everybody else. But the real point is they have the talent. The whole thing is getting Borrego and Willie on the same page with their defense and offense to make it go to the next level. That's what it's about. So for them to have some aggression, it's going to be some aggression, some fussing and bitching and stuff going on between the players, because a lot of these players coming in here thinking it's last year, so their role is the same. It's not the same. Things have changed. We need you to do more of this and less of that. We need you to do this. And as far as CJ McCollum is concerned, I'm pretty sure they're going to demand CJ McCollum to play better defense. Nah, bro, you ain't going to just be standing up there shooting all the time. When it's called upon, you got to play some effing defense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Because
right now, word on the street is that he's a liability.
Oh yeah, there ain't no doubt about it. But that has to change a lot. I don't expect him to make a big jump at it. But man, he need to do better than what the hell he did last time around. But I think the big part about having Zion and doing that is the consistency. Like when he does these games, we've seen him dominating these games, and then the next game we go away from it. We need to have more consistent and higher IQ play when we employ Zion Williamson. And how does it look when you are going using DeJounte and Zion, at certain points of intervals of game? So I mean, it's stuff that all has to be figured out, man, to be quite honest with you. And like I said, we're in preseason right now, and a lot of this stuff has to be figured out. So Tobias says this, Lex, I think we're trading BI mean not playing till the last preseason game. Also the reports of him looking incredible in practice. I think they have something cooking. Thank you, Tobias. Shout out to you. Shout out to Stacy. Shout out to Trapper G. Jay Carve. Good to see you, fam.
Appreciate your commentary as well.
Nick 100 a game. Pelicans Nola. Much love to you, brother Don Guillory in here. The brother of Will Guillory. That brother Don.
All right. What's up with you, man?
All right. Shout out to Big Sean. My brother Big Sean's in this thing, even though he's a Spurs man. What's up, Jessica?
Sean.
Shout out to Jessica. Much love to you.
In the building. Stephanie.
Represent,
ladies. Represent. Okay. I had to get that in there. You know what I'm saying? Come on. We got to do that.
All right. So, yeah, we'll see exactly what's going on that, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. The BI thing, that's just an open book right now. And like I said, between truly, I was saying December to early February in that timeline. But the way the NBA is, like, nobody anticipated the Knicks to pull off the big cat trade and do this stuff prior to the season. So you never can tell. Things change, right? So we'll see exactly what's going on there. How that'll work, man. Much love. Anyway, Lex, unless you won't comment on that, let me kind of jump forward to the next article if you won't comment. You won't comment on that last topic?
Oh, no, we good.
All right, there we go. Okay, here we go. The New Orleans Pelicans did make a flurry of roster moves heading into the weekend. Pelicans made some additions. Few things here that we talked about this in the flash report. The Pelicans did not play their original scheduled second preseason game on Friday due to the aftermath of Hurricane Milton. Though the team was not busy on the court, the front office was busy on the transaction front with 4 moves to the roster, seeing the team add 2 players and waiving 2 others. The Pelicans signed forward Josh Oduro and guard Elfrid Payton on Friday, while waiving guards Adonis Arms and forward Matt Ryan. Now, Oduro is the 6'9" forward out of Providence College, where he averaged 16 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, 1.3 on the blocks during the 23-24 season. The forward played for the Pelican Summer League team and averaged 4.6 boards and 3 assists in 2 appearances. Elfrid Payton is a 6'4" guard, is an 8-year NBA veteran, was drafted by the Sixers with the 10th pick in 2014 and finished 4th in ensuing season Rookie of the Year voting. He spent the 2018 and 19 campaign with the Pelicans, playing and starting 42 games, averaging over 10 points a game, 7.6 assists in a career high, which is for the assists, and 5.2 rebounds across almost 30 minutes per game. Adonis Arms, a 6'5" guard, has yet to participate in an NBA game in his career, though he graduated from the collegiate level after the 21-22 season. Arms signed an Exhibit 10 contract with the Pelicans on October the 1st, with the team having the option to convert his 1-year deal to a 2-way contract, but the team exercised their right to waive him instead. Matty Icy Hot Ryan, 6'6" forward, signed a contract with the Pelicans back in August of 27 after playing 28 games with the team last year and averaging over 5 points a game. And Ryan has been waived, and it will be interesting to see where he lands after showing the ability to shoot threes successfully at 45% clip, 3-point percentage last year for the Pels. So the Pels, a few moves that they made. Elfrid Payton on the team, as well as Josh Oduro. I scouted Josh Oduro. I like his style. Josh Oduro is physical forward, played really well in college. Very physical guy underneath the basket. And we all know about Elfrid Payton, his defense and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see how the Pelicans move those guys around there, man. We'll see. But anyway, fam, listen, like we were talking about, very happy about Elfrid Payton being here. Even Greg Monroe, we talked about this in the previous show, Greg Monroe coming on as an assistant coach. But let's kind of cover this right quick, Lex. Let's talk about Payton. Elfrid Payton's a big topic. I seen an interview with Elfrid Payton the other day. Him talking about Willie Green, and did he perhaps see Willie Green becoming a head coach, because they were on the same team. But Elfrid Payton, man, was a surprise for me to see the Pelicans bring him back. What do you think about Elfrid Payton returning to the Pelicans?
More guards.
More guards. I mean, he's a big guard, though. He could be a reserve.
Yeah,
guard.
But what does this team need?
Bigs? They don't need no more quality bigs.
Yes. So I mean, I don't know how to take this. I'm like, okay, we got him.
I think it's competition in camp, Lex. I think probably that's all it is.
But it's like what does the team need? What does the team need? It was like we're avoiding, and then Matt Ryan. I don't know what Elfrid Payton what he does extremely well, but Matt Ryan is a sniper. He's a shooter. We want to keep the shooters. The shooters are like top dollar, right? Because the game, it's a shooters league now. So when they waived Matt Ryan the first time and they reconstructed his contract, we thought like, okay, well, maybe something's up. Maybe he was going to be within a trade or something. But then you waived him again. So it just seemed like, he was kind of like the odd man out, but I really don't understand because again, you need shooters, man. You got to have your shooters. And this is nothing against, Elfrid Payton or how do you pronounce his name?
You got it right, Elfrid Payton. Oh, you talking about
No,
Josh Oduro?
okay, I thought
Josh
yeah,
Oduro.
Adoro. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just more guards. I don't know if I feel any certain kind of way about it because it's like, do we address a need? You know what I'm saying? Like we're kind of, stacked with guards and wings right now. So, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I think.
I'm sorry. I don't know if it's what everybody expected, but
No, that's fine.
I just don't know what to. I want to address what the team needs, and that really wasn't a need. Like, if they were looking at like a series of bigs and things, and bringing them on, it's a different situation now. It's a different take, but I mean, just are we making our guards better? Is that what we're doing? Like just trying to help, strengthen the guard play? Because we need to, because right now we're kind of, lopsided, top, backcourt heavy, front court low heavy.
You got what if you go behind? We got DeJounte Murray at one, then off the bench is Jose Alvarado. Then if there's an issue there, then you don't really have a third guard. So that could be a fit for Elfrid Payton because you damn sure don't want to see CJ McCollum at the guard position unless you're gonna go full in on Zion. Unless you go full in on Zion at the position. Which
yeah, but they've said numerous of times, and I hope they ain't bluffing because Griff said it and Willie Green said it. They said Zion ain't a 5. He's a guard, right? And he's bigger than Elfrid.
they be saying they talking shit on that though.
But you see what I'm saying though? That's what I was saying. Like, is that just like some fluffery words that they trying to?
Oh yeah.
It's hard to say with them because they said that they actually. I was actually surprised that they said that about Zion. I was like, oh wow, interesting. You know what I'm saying? Y'all saying that, but y'all haven't really been showing it too much. So. And hey, I'm just saying, like, Zion, man, he like a Derrick Rose on steroids. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what what he has, the ability in which he has. So, yeah, I'm just trying to understand the move a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we're guard heavy. We're guard and wing heavy.
I see the Elfrid Payton thing like he's a veteran that can be trusted. He could play Willie style of ball, plays defense, could do certain things. I could look at the roster like we look at it here and see that if we have issues from an injury standpoint, he could be a third guard that can come in and help out. He'd be buried on the bench. He'll be super cheap. Josh Oduro, on the other hand, is a developmental player that ultimately be on our G League team, along with guys like our point guard. I can't remember the guy name, our little point guard that we usually have. That's always seems to be Crutcher. I think Crutcher, Jalen Crutcher, and others. So I don't, but that's how I see the move as. And in terms of like you were talking about the center, I guess the wings and all that, and the Zion thing, like Zion at the point, I think that's circumstantial. That depends on the game and all that, because I don't think they're going to use Zion Williamson at point Zion for the full duration of the circumference of the game. I think that's incremental in different points of the game, and that's based on just what we've seen them use when they do use it. Because if they felt like that, they would have went in a different direction. Why need a floor general if we just gonna have Zion doing it all the time? You see? So I mean, I think traditionally speaking, what they were trying to, because they was doing an untraditional thing last year when they was operating point guard by committee approach, where everybody would devaluing the point guard position last year. And I said that was stupid because you're trying to, why you gotta, it's the
Imagine.
path, it's the path the path of least resistance at times. You try to overthink it at times. Like it get you a guy that can set your offense up, a guy that everybody respects, and all these guys respect him. That helps the IQ. That helps the flow of the game. That helps when we get to the crutch moments of the game. We don't have to go 0 and 22 when everybody's jacking up shots, like we seen with Bi and CJ McCollum. When they got the ball, they kept getting offensive rebounds. They just was jacking up the damn shot. We didn't even need to take a three at that time. So the IQ of the game improves then. So that's a big plus. The only issue now on the opposite side is you're talking about the center. You don't have an actual center. But there's an incomplete thing on that, Lex, because in the end, Brandon Ingram is a trade piece they ultimately gonna move between now and the trade deadline. And that whoever they get, they're gonna draw and try to get a center that can complete the mix. So like I did an article, we covered one where the article writer was saying that the Pelicans are one center move away from being a deep playoff run team. One move. And a lot of people believe with that move, a trade of BI for the right piece gets the Pelicans to where they need to be. So we're not there yet, but between now and the trade deadline, we're going to get something. Hopefully.
Get on the phone with Griff. Because he got to know it. You know what I'm saying? He's got to know it. I hope they ain't just sitting up there in that office twiddling their thumbs like, yeah, we're good. We're gonna be all right this season. No, chicken, you need to get to work.
That's all. That's like when you, as a Pelican person, you got to have a high degree of discernment, right? You got to have a high degree of discernment because it's. And I often talk about this so much from David Griffin since he's gotten here because it just dealing with Dale Demps prior to Griffin getting here. Then you understand what bullshit is, and when they bullshit, like the stuff he was saying about Brandon Ingram and how all this, that's just a lie. That was just politician speak to kind of iron out stuff so they can focus, to take attention away from it so they can focus on basketball on the court. It's a political move. Now, what it does do now, as if Brandon Ingram's playing well in practice, like the reporters are saying, then what that does do, it creates the right environment for the team to be successful. And if he's playing well enough and he's going into it with the right perspective, then that makes him more endearing to a team for a potential trade between now and the deadline. So like I said, we're going to have to see all of this float and happen. And then ultimately between now and then, the Pelicans hopefully will land the piece. Now, listen, we know about David Griffin. The trade that got Anthony Davis out of here wasn't his trade. That was Magic Johnson's trade. It was just without Kyle Kuzma, I think an extra pick. The trade that got DeJounte Murray wasn't his trade. That was Rich Paul giving them the idea for that. So whoever gives them the idea for the next trade would probably be one of us or one of the family members in the chat. So please feel free to email the Pelicans organizations all your great trade ideas, what they need to do with Brandon Ingram. Go ahead, Lex.
In that case, if it's our idea, look, we need to be hired as the GMs. Dog, you get paid to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shoot, everybody else doing your homework for you. Like that's a problem.
That's how you're making it.
But hey, I that as far as with Griff, man, with DeJounte, that everybody's got to know that was not his idea. That was not their plan. Rich Paul called that man numerous of times to make that happen, which is really sad. So it makes you wonder.
Credit to him for pulling the trigger, though, Lex. He could have ignored it.
No, because he don't know what to do. He don't know what he's doing. He don't know what he's doing. This is the same dude who drafted Anthony Bennett #1.
He did that for Cleveland.
Yeah, I know, but he still did it.
He didn't do it to us, though.
I know he didn't have to. He just made poor financial decisions, right? He's been,
Three
look,
coaches in 5 years.
yeah, 3 coaches in 5 years. He brought what's that dude's name? Along with Steven Adams. He came from the Bucks. Went to Kentucky. I forget his name. He brought that dude here, Saturansky. You know what I'm saying?
Bledsoe.
We could have got marketing. Yeah, Bledsoe. You know what I'm saying? What the world is going on? What the world is going on?
He got them out quick though.
We would have got a quality 7-footer in marketing instead of Saturansky because marketing didn't want to be there. Okay. Yeah. Let's go. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? This is interesting.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, YO. Says
Orlando too.
LSU just got a pick. Let's go, LOL. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Fuck too kind.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. And they just threw it back, just like that. I'm looking at it. Garrett Nussmeier just threw the pick. He just gave it back to him.
But they stopped him from scoring.
He just Gus.
Yeah. Okay. My stuff is delayed just a little bit.
Nussmeier just threw the interception back to him. So they're not trying to win.
They kept them scoreless, right? It's 26 and they still got a chance with 10:54 to go. You know, right?
Yeah, they got a lot of time left. They got a lot of time left in the game, but this is stupid.
Defense just got to get a stop. Yeah, and that double coverage, he shouldn't have thrown that, man. He shouldn't have did that.
Yeah. So still in all, man. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he just said before we got the super chat, but appreciate that. It's about 11 minutes left to go in the game. Like I said, I was watching that. That has been a busy day for sports.
Yeah. It's Saturday, boy. It's game day, baby.
It's down.
Game day.
It's going down today. All right. So and this is the thing. We'll see what they do, man. And a lot of questions. I see what you're saying. Knicks 100 a game. It's throwing a bunch of names out there, man. We don't like none of them names for no Brandon Ingram, brother. Whoever it's going to be, it's got to be somebody that's up there. That's going to be a quality player that fits what the Pelicans are doing. And I don't think that's going to happen right now. I think that's probably something that people usually get to right around that trade deadline, and they know whether or not what they're working with and whether they should go in on a certain player at that time, and they take a chance on the player. We know it gets a lot looser then, so to speak. Guys know exactly if they're going to make the playoffs or not. They know, whether they can collect a contract, and regardless or not. Brandon Ingram still is seen as, an expiring deal that somebody could pick up. They don't have to pay him. They can just trade for the contract and get the $30-something million off their books for the upcoming year. Still a tradable contract. Mm-hmm. So that's a part of it. So, I mean, it's a lot of stuff that can go on, man. We just have to be able to put together a good team that puts together a bunch of wins early on and play well with the right mentality. That's what I'm focused on. And I know for a fact if we do that, then all this trade talk with BI will work itself out. But we like I said, we have the right position in place. That's it. But go ahead, Lex.
I don't know. I was just listening.
All right. Stacey said for BI will settle for Nick Richards and other players and picks. That's a little too low, Stacey. For Nick Richards. No, man. Kai says the Magic gave Wendell Carter a 3-year $50 million fee. They did $59 million deal.
I will say this though, Big Q. I mean, the thing is that because Griff has waited so long, you know what I'm saying? Right now, Brandon's stock isn't as high as, according to Griff, because he's trying to get top dollar. I get that. But is it safer to make a move? And I know Nick Richards isn't ideal. He's not really a big name or anything. Is making a move for, a center right now instead of waiting until the trade deadline, or the possibility that Brandon could just walk and you get nothing for him. Again, same situation like JV, because they didn't get a deal done before the season with JV. They got to the trade deadline. They didn't do any trades. They went into off season. JV's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that's
the market is not the high for Brandon right now. So with that situation, it's almost like you have to think with Brandon at this point, it's almost like you're making a trade to make a trade. Because it won't stop. It's not the initial trade for Brandon, but it's the trade after the initial trade of Brandon because of being delayed in making a decision and moving on this. Because I mean, is everybody cool with him walking for nothing? If you're not going to pay him,
No.
you know what I'm saying?
I'm not an advocate for him walking for nothing, but I think it's somewhere in between the middle. That's what I believe. Like,
Okay.
if you could find a deal between here and somewhere in the middle there, I would take it. I mean, be honest with you, if we can some kind of way find it, because remember the money got to work, and you just got to get the best value you can get to fit the position. Like, and obviously, you're going to move him for a starting level big that fits what you got going on, and ideally, what that is the Jared Allen. Jared Allen is the guy that Griffin wants. He wants Jared Allen. We know this.
I mean, but he can't be just set on him. It's like, dude, you're
I
not
know.
being realistic.
I know.
You just and it's like going back to Jared Allen. It's like you are moving too slow. And it's funny because they talked about, hey, we're going to be aggressive this offseason. You all were aggressive for like one move, but you didn't finish. And everybody is saying that you didn't finish what needed to be done. It's like you drug your feet. You made that one move, and basically you were a one-trick move pony. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't just do that. That wasn't aggressive. That was like, going through the motions. Okay, you got a point guard. For so long, we had a big man, didn't have a point guard, right?
That's right.
Finally got a point guard, now no big man. It's like, we got to put it together. It's got to all come together. You can't just, it can't be, I don't know, man. It's just, they just didn't finish, man. They didn't finish. It's almost like they stopped their own momentum. They stopped it all. So
they still have like I said, and that's true. The off season would have been the perfect time to get the move done. They didn't do it, but they have a new timeline. The new timeline is between now and the trade deadline, which they have to make it. They have to push it through. And I don't think it's an option for you to let Brandon Ingram walk for nothing. They're going to get they're going to get a good player for him. It's just to determine on who that is. And like I said, right now, a lot of these teams are not willing to let go of some of the players that we might like at the position. I'm telling you, it happens every year when you get close, right around there, when these games play in that year turnover, teams know who is who and where they're going to compete at and what they need to do. They rethink some of those contracts, and then they'll be more likely to make trades with certain players that they wasn't at the start of the year. So, I mean, we see it every year, and the Pelicans are counting on that. So in the end, we have to see how this is going to go. But like I said, I think the BI thing will end on a positive note. Insofar as us getting a key asset that will help the Pelicans, how they currently constructed with Zion and DeJounte and all these other guys. So like I said, man, we'll see how it all goes. But yeah, I believe Trey Murphy is the future of the team. I believe BI is a trade piece the Pelicans going to use to get a center that we've been talking about. And it probably gonna be it's probably gonna be somebody we might not be Jared Allen. It might be somebody that we talked about before that's not quite in that Nick Richards tier. Maybe somebody because there are several of them that's out there that fit right around that tier of people that we're talking about. I'm thinking probably one of those guys the Pelicans probably gonna end up with. So like I said, we'll see what's going on with it at the end of the day, man. All right. Yakeem says if we do this season, Yakeem I don't know. Yakeem must be BI's agent or somebody.
Probably.
He's his agent. He loves BI. Listen, shout out to brother Yakeem, man. With no doubt about it, Yakeem. We love BI here, bro. But listen,
It's a business.
It's a business, my friend.
I
It's
mean,
a business.
we're not saying that's not negative to say that the Pelicans don't want to pay him.
Hell, B.I. said
Well,
that. B.I. said it. I mean,
you
hey,
know what I'm
man, it's a
saying? I
business. Don't take
mean,
it personal.
how is that pessimism and negativity? You know what I'm saying? The thing is that we're speaking facts that the Pelicans don't want to pay him. That's not something that we said. They said that.
Right. What's
So
wrong
I
with
mean,
y'all? What's wrong with Yakeem, man? What's
I
going
know
on
this
here?
one down. Hey, I ain't apologizing about nothing. You know why? Because
Because
like
Willie done made
just like you all in this chat and Big Q and me, we're all investors. We buy lead pass, we invest our time, we invest our energy, we invest our emotions. So to have high expectations for your team to perform at the highest level, hey, I'm well within my rights, just like you are. Okay? And that's not negative. That's actually a positive. That's a good thing. Because I like to think, Yakeem, that at some point you do want the Pelicans to win the championship, right?
Yeah, that's why
Guess
y'all
what?
being negative.
If you want to be a championship team, you have to critique it. It's all about details. It's
Yeah.
all about details. You got to rise to that occasion. If that's what you want, it's all about where your mind is, where you want, what you see success for your team. Eventually, the goal, I think, for Pelicans fans is to win a championship, something that Pelicans fans have never tasted.
The crazy part about it is, though, Lex, you know, not what you're saying in terms of with the Pelicans, because you're 1,000% right on what you're saying about the championship, because that's what it's supposed to be about. The BI piece is the last piece to get you over the top. That's what the thought process is. So, but I mean, I can't. It's not pessimism to talk about Brandon Ingram because we for Brandon Ingram, but I do realize that A, like Lex said, it's a business, and B, he don't fit in the plans of the team, and it's not like you got a hold there. You have Trey Murphy, who's a younger player,
Yeah.
who will be cheaper than what BI wants, and that's just what it is. You know, I'm not the general manager. Hell, I'm not the VP of basketball operations. I am not, but we're reporting to you of that's what it is. So if you think that pessimism, I want you to go to the New Orleans Pelicans training camp in Metairie. Go there, knock on the gate because that's about as far as your ass will get, and yell at David Griffin to come out there and talk to you about keeping Brandon Ingram. That's what you need to do. And you know, we'll hear about you on the news. There's some crazy guy who got arrested at the Pelicans camp for cussing at David Griffin. So, you know, like I said, man, it is what it is,
Look,
man.
for loitering.
That's about as far as you'll get, baby.
You're trespassing.
They got a gate right there. They won't even let you get in the
goodness.
parking lot. They got a damn gate right there. So listen, it's I don't get it, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we want this team to be great, man, you know, you have to be picky about things. That's not a bad thing. It's just like, you know, some people like their food separated. They want their food with the divider plates.
Yes.
Is that a bad thing?
No, my boys like that.
Your food you know what I'm saying? That's okay. That's okay. Now, me, either or, you know, I don't mind either or because, you know, it's all going into the same place. Now, I will say I don't want my greens, the juice of the greens, all up in my cornbread. I don't want that. I don't want my bread to be wet. Okay? So I got a problem there.
It's going in the same place, Lex. What are we talking about?
But I don't want to eat that wet bread though.
Man,
Okay, I don't know. Everybody has their preferences, right?
Hold on,
You
Lex.
know,
Before you go there, let me ask you a question about that because
Okay.
you brought up some food here. You know, you can't talk about food around here.
Okay.
All right. So let me ask you this: you cook greens?
Yes, I do.
You cook them good? What you put in your greens? You put
Oh,
smoked turkey in your greens?
Yeah. So ham hocks or that I forget what it's called. I'm familiar with the ham hocks though.
Okay. Well, let me
Yeah.
ask you this: when you clean your greens, did you ever have to clean them in the bathtub?
Huh? I clean my greens in the kitchen sink. Okay, is the kitchen sink broke? Is it no for real? Like if it's broke, you know what I'm saying? Look,
No, I'm asking you
what you
because
gotta do.
I'm asking for a friend because I heard
Okay.
somebody clean their greens in the
Well,
bathtub.
shoot, I would love to hear some comments in the chat about that. I would love to see. Look, I know somebody got something to say about that too. But I clean my greens in the sink.
I
You
had
know
some
what I'm saying?
crazy lady said she had so many greens she had to clean them in the bathtub. I was like, ugh, that's nasty. You know, we don't
I
clean
mean,
greens.
if she clean up, got a bathroom on, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Is that an old school technique? Because I know there's some old school.
I never
Back
heard
in
of
the
that shit.
day, they used the slop jar. You know about that? You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I don't think I don't think they got yeah.
I'm just saying. That's the only thing I can. Maybe it's old school or something.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
maybe.
Okay, Stacey, are you talking about what we? You're not entertaining entertaining that. Be like,
This,
who's gonna eat the greens being washed in the bathtub?
I ain't eating that shit.
If you were just starving for something to eat,
I'm going out. Hell, I go to McDonald's before I eat greens out of goddamn and I don't like McDonald's.
oh my gosh, I
But
don't
I
know.
ain't eating no greens come out of no goddamn bathtub. I don't.
Oh my
That's bullshit.
God.
So anyway, let's. I just wanted to ask you, Lex, because you start getting to cooking and you start talking about greens and cornbread.
But I'm just
I
saying,
love
like,
greens and cornbread.
if we want this team to win at a high level, we got to be nitpicky. Just like, if you want your food to be on a divider plate, you know what I mean? You want your food separated and things like that.
Right.
That's the way you got to be.
That's right.
And that's not a bad thing.
No.
That's not a bad thing. Negativity is actually good if it's constructive. Well, I'll say criticism because it's not necessarily negative is negative. But when you're having criticism, it's not a bad thing if it's constructive. I mean, that's just like a lot of you all in the chat. You all have ideas. You all are throwing out ideas what trades can be made. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
a lot of good ideas too. I'm looking
You
at
know what
them.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's constructive criticism. We're not just criticizing, we're giving ideas, concepts, thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Because all of us watch basketball. We're passionate about this game and we want to see the team do well. There's nothing wrong with that. So, it's all good stuff and for a good cause. I mean, it really is. It ain't no ill will against anybody. Just with Brandon's situation, if you're a huge Brandon fan, I get it, but it's also a business, right?
Yeah, I think it's time. It's Bi is about to go. Eventually, he will be traded for the centerpiece or the piece that fits next to the centerpiece in terms of Zion Williamson. And a lot of people feeling that way too. There's a lot of people picking the Pelicans because the only reason why they weren't picking the Pelicans is because the question was around Zion Williamson's health. Because they understand that in order for the Pelicans to have a deep playoff run, Zion has to be available. So him coming into the season healthy with no issues and all of the negative stuff that we've been dealing with over the last couple of years is refreshing. To have Zion getting in here and then he looks good. He looks, this type of stuff, DeJounte Murray and all that. That's all I was saying when the season started. We have way more pluses than anything we could perceive as negative. And then, even the BI thing within itself is a positive because you have the trade piece to be able to get another piece to help along with you, what you have there, as opposed to not having that at all. So it's you have a means to it to make the ends meet, so to speak. So it's all about time. So while that's happening, we just have to we got to get the business. We got to make it work. We got DeJounte here. We got Coach Borrego here. We got Coach Willie here and the rest of the guys. We got to make it work. That's what it comes down to. All right, Lex, I'm gonna give you the floor here before we get ready to get on out.
Oh no, like I'm ready to see it, you know. I'm just ready, you know, to see like what's gonna transpire. Um, you know, people are talking about all of this, you know, the different scenarios, the lineups, which again, we're still unclear on how the lineups are gonna go. We know for sure that small ball is gonna be in the game plan, but you know, at the end of the day, we talk about this stuff because you
All
know
the time.
there's stuff that comes up. But at the end of the day, what's going to be the telltale is seeing it. So I'm excited about what the preseason game is. That's tomorrow, right? Against Miami. So it'll be nice to, you know, to see what's going on there. I think definitely the small ball is going to work there because Bam Adebayo is not really a center. He's more of a forward, like maybe a stretch four or something. But they play him at center. So in that situation, you know, the small ball is going to work. But I think once we start seeing these guys against bigger front courts, we're going to know for sure what's going on, what's up. And then the adjustments that are made throughout the games, how they come out in the third quarters, that second half, how their closing lineups, you know, all this stuff is going to be interesting because right now, you know, they're not playing a full game. I think it's more so, you know, chemistry building, you know, seeing what guys are going to stay on the team and guys who are going to get waived or they're going to be going down to the G League. But, you know, we're still unclear with the bigs that we have. You know, Tice, he's a smart player, and obviously he's not a starting big. But looking at Eves and looking at Makovich, I mean, they're kind of they're kind of like right there. And they're not ready. You know, and that's just based off, you know, what I've seen in the preseason. Eves Misi, he got into foul trouble. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when you are a developmental project, that's what happens. You know, every time I looked up, that dude was on the floor. You know what I'm saying? He had like 5 fouls in like 8 minutes or something ridiculous. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Stay on your feet. So, I mean, he's going to need some work. He's going to need reps. And that's not a bad thing to say that. Right now, just off of get that first preseason game, he's not ready. He needs reps. Makovich, I mean, he came in off the bench for Misi. And did you see anything that stuck out to you with Makovich? I mean, you know.
I mean, he did okay. I mean, but like I said, they're doing okay. But we need a larger. We need a larger. What's the term I'm looking for? We need a larger. I guess viewing of these people over more of an extended period of time. Because if you coach Willie, you got to have a vision for some of these guys. Like and like I was saying, I think it's a big emphasis. It's important to find out who your 5 is, Lex, your top 5 guys. But really, the reserves are what I'm looking at too. You know, what does the reserve bench look like outside of Jose when Trey gets back?
Yeah.
You know, what does that look like to me? Who's going to be the guys? We know Daniel Tice will be there, but who else? We know is it Jeremiah Robinson early season in the mix? What does the reserves look like? Because that's really important to me too. And do the Pelicans have the mindset to make sure that they have, you know, they do a 5-for-5 mix or a 4-for-5 mix? And I know they're going to do some staggering because that's what Willie Green does. But at the same time, I'm really concerned to see what the reserves look like, because that means a lot to me too. Because when the starters are struggling, the reserves got to come in and light a fire, man. So that's something also I'm looking at. And right now we had one preseason game, and certain guys did pretty decently, and they did well. Zion was outstanding. We got to look at DeJounte Murray. That's another sticking point, looking at DeJounte.
Yeah.
rounding out what these rotations going to look like in the
And he
reserves.
didn't have a strong game. DeJounte didn't have a strong game. But
No.
one thing that did stick out, that pick and roll and him getting that ball to Zion, getting downhill. And that's when Zion is most dangerous. I love that. I love that. And they're still working out the kinks, but that looked promising. That was promising. It didn't take, 3 preseason games. We saw that first preseason. You know what I'm saying? That's a good sign. That's a very good sign. And that's something, especially with the pick and roll, just period. For some reason, Pelicans just haven't really used that. It was like once every blue moon that, you saw it. So that was really nice to see. And it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. So I'm excited about that right there, what I saw in that aspect.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We can definitely benefit more pick and roll. That's no doubt about it, man. And like I said, the Willie Green is the intelligence or the IQ boost, the DeJounte Murray, the maturation of Zion Williamson and those guys playing together will calcify the team, make them a solid unit together, and like the reserves. And we got it, like I was saying, we have everything pretty much we need outside of a bona fide center threat there. So, I mean, if we can just do what we do, build up some wins early on and just do what we do, keep Zion healthy and play with a good mix, rotate them in and out, make sure our rotations are solid, guys are getting rest. We don't burn our guys out and we play balanced and we do what we're supposed to do and we play with the right mentality. We're going to win some ball games. And then eventually when the time comes to move BI for a centerpiece that'll take us to that next level, people, really, the Pelican faithful really don't know how close they are to having a deep playoff run. It has been something that's outside of our view, our periphery, because of the injuries to Zion Williamson and the ridiculousness of the general manager, and not the general manager, the goddamn VP of basketball operations, and just all that stuff. At some point, it has to hit. And this is the point where it has to hit, because you have everything you perceive to have, and once the BI trade happens, they'll have the piece they needed to jump ahead. And there are writers out there, there are people that are calling and say, hey, man, I think the Pelicans are close. People look at it and say, I don't know. That's because you're looking at it through the lens of how we've been banged up and injured over the last couple of years, which is, I'm not faulting us for looking at it like that. But, man, they saying one piece, and I'm looking at the team, and I'm saying, man, we got this guy, this guy, this guy. We just got to put it together so we can make the jump. So I'm not putting a lot on Willie Green. I just want Green to listen to guys that have a better feel of the game than he does, which is Borrego. He said that in the press conference. He mentioned the fact that Borrego's been on him about the offense. He has to, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. He has to listen to Borrego, and Borrego has a better feel for the game than he does. He has to recognize that, and he has to lean on his coaches because he got a pretty good staff of people. And like I said, Lex, this staff here, when he started here, a lot of those guys wasn't guys that he picked. This staff that he has now, a lot of these guys are guys that he picked. So there ain't none of that old bullshit no more. This is his staff. Majority of this is his staff. This is his 4th year here. He has a floor general. He has a superstar that's healthy, and he got a really good player in Brandon Ingram, who's a star too. Man, let's get this going, man. Let's get what we need to get so we can get to the next level and compete for what we're supposed to be competing for, what we were supposed to be doing 2 years ago. So it's time. All right, so big ups to the fam on that. Yo says, tell ESPN they could have CJ now. Just give us Austin Rivers because he probably can shoot better. Now we don't need him either.
No.
The hell with him.
No.
That was that was
the only thing he can offer is being cheap.
I would choose Elfrid Payton over Austin Rivers. I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I would take Elfrid Payton over, and we got Elfrid Payton on the team right now, but I would choose Elfrid Payton as a guard on my team over Austin Rivers. Austin Rivers don't have it, man. He don't have it, brother. That's why he on ESPN.
Yeah. Did he officially retire?
I don't know. I'm really not interested in his career like that.
I mean, I know. I mean, I'm not either.
Push him in the Rivers
question because I know Victor Oladipo is on there, you know, because he was a free agent, you know, so I didn't
He
know
might
if,
be.
you know.
I can hold on, Lex. Let me look it up right quick because I consider pushing Austin Rivers in the Rivers when he was here before. So let me see. Maybe he's retired. Push Austin Rivers in the
Well,
Rivers.
his dad helped him get that position.
Shit. Yeah, he just
Must
nepotism
be
to the
nice.
fullest, boy.
Shoot. Look, I need some family members, you know what I'm saying? Look.
According to Google, he is not retired. No, Austin Rivers is not
Okay.
retired from basketball, but he is not currently on an NBA team.
Okay, so
So yes,
maybe they
he
still working out and things, but shoot, once you start sitting at that desk talking in front of that camera, things can change.
well, I mean, if you got a basketball dad that who Doc Rivers, who was coaches teams, he can get him on as an assistant coach. But that's an old game that we've seen a lot of coaches do. Paul Silas did it with his son Steven Silas. A bunch of them do it, and Austin Rivers is no different. LeBron got his son on a team with him, playing out there in LA.
You
So
know
I mean,
what? I want to hear everybody in the chat. I want to hear everybody's thoughts on that situation, like right now. Like, what are y'all's thoughts about, the performance and all that good stuff?
the performance of
With Bronny being on the team and all this good stuff, how do y'all see that whole situation? Oh goodness. I mean, I understand he's a second round pick, you know. Do you feel like he's playing like a second round pick, or maybe because Herb Jones is a second round pick too?
I'm about to try to tell you.
So is Jokic
That's
and Draymond Green.
and Draymond, and it's a bunch of them, man.
Look, and Isaiah Thomas, the second one. Isaiah Thomas was the 60th pick in his class.
Yeah.
So, or is he playing like not a second round pick?
He plays like he was born rich. And listen, my thing on it, because my thing on it is he's not the one. It's the other son. The other son is the one that's gonna be, he ain't gonna be LeBron, but he's gonna be the better of the basketball players than Bronny is. Bronny's getting it because it's part of LeBron's idea for him to play a season with his son. All this, he said this like many years, 2 or 3 years ago, that he wasn't going to retire until he plays on a team with his son, and then he had the power to make it work and bring him on there. And then he had the influence through Rich Paul and his money in the relationships that he had with these different companies, where they kind of cut, and they were kind of criticizing Bronny hard, but a lot of them, he kind of forced a lot of the negative coverage to kind of stop about his son. So like I said, man, he was better prior to what happened to him. Remember, he had that heart that he had
surgery.
he had the yeah. And there's a backstory. There's a backstory behind that. That's a whole nother show within itself. But since he came back from that, he looked a lot different because he had some problems before, but he was developing. But I don't think he's a G League player, if that. He don't belong in no pro game. He's a G Leaguer, in my opinion.
Yeah. It kind of makes you wonder though, because I'm looking at everything. When you look at AAU, and you look at a lot of these guys, and not just Bronny, but a lot of these guys, and because a lot of times you don't see the whole game, you're seeing the highlights. It makes you wonder, like, is this guy really good? It's almost like you really have to see them in a different setting to really understand if they're really that type of talent. I do say that, and I'm not saying that he's not talented, but even looking at Keon Anthony, You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because like he was ranked, on I think maybe ESPN, maybe CBS or Fox or something like that, as far as being the best player in New York, the top player in New York, number one player in New York. But it just makes you wonder, like, when you get these guys in a different type of setting, because they're going up against, a lot of AAU guys, and AAU is a different type of game. It's a different type of game. It's not like playing in the NBA. It's not like playing in college. Well, I probably should have, switched it. But
Let's
it just
ask
makes you
more.
wonder. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that, Keon is not good or anything. I'm just saying it just kind of makes you wonder, like, do these guys like really have it? Because I think sometimes, obviously you see guys coming out of AAU and they make that transition to college, to the pros, and they play at a high level. We've seen that.
Hmm.
But then you see some guys, it's like, they get a lot of accolades and different things, and you see them, it's like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It just makes you kind of question, like, the talent, because a lot of times you do just see the highlights. You don't see the fullness of the game, and you're going off of anybody's highlights can look good. Anybody's highlights. If you're taking all the positive things that you're doing out on the court, anybody can look good. So it makes you question, like, okay, y'all really tricked us. You know what I'm saying? Making us believe that maybe this player was a whole lot colder than what he actually was. And, he was just in a great position to really, excel in different things. But, just
Yeah.
want to throw that out there.
Yeah. When it gets to that point, because it's a bit of culture shock for some of them guys when they get to that level and they realize that they're not the star anymore, that this is a league full of stars, that these are, it's a culture shock for a lot of them. Because a lot of times, a great majority of those players are, blue chip players, and they get up there thinking the talent and all this kind of stuff is there when everybody's as fast as you and better than you. And it's a bit of culture shock. But then that's when the intangibles supposed to kick in to get you over the hump. And those things you developed over time from a good coach or parents that were there to put those positive attributes in your head, in your mind, and in your heart. Those things is what kicks in to help you get to the next level. When you have more heart, and even though a guy might be more talented than you from a basketball perspective, you're in the gym longer, you're studying longer.
Yeah.
And you kind of, that kind of stuff. And you're getting on the court because you know what to do as opposed to him not knowing what to do. That's a part of it. So a lot of the intangibles kick in when you get to that point, and it's all about who wants it more. So the most dedicated, the ones that put the longest work in, that really studied and take it seriously, a lot of times those guys and them gals win.
Yeah.
So that's why I see in a competitive environment, because it is ultra competitive, especially when you're talking about hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. That's what it's all about, man. But anyway, as we get ready to leave on up out of here, man, I'd like to thank everybody, man, for being in here in the stream tonight, man. Right now it's 23-16 LSU right now with the ball with 31 seconds remaining. Would they have any timeouts? Do they have any timeouts? Do this goddamn team have any timeouts? I don't think they have any timeouts. No, they do not.
No,
they do not. 12.
Well, they went from having time to not having time.
Yeah,
they were catching up. They had stopped them from scoring. So,
what's up, brother James? How you doing, sir? All right. So yeah, this is crazy, man. At the end of the day, man, all I could tell you, man, is that we've been kind of, we gonna do this, man. You say he has, they got one timeout, brother James. One timeout left. Okay, I didn't see that there. Let me see.
Do we doing all right?
Yeah, I see. There you go. They do have one.
Stopping by, man.
Shout out to brother James, man. Big ups to you, my brother. But yeah, this is a part of the game, man, where we as a Pelican Nation, we got to figure it out, man. I think it's promising, man. I'm looking forward to what's about to happen in the season, man. I think we'll do fine. we ultimately will trade Brandon Ingram for a piece that'll take us to the next level. I really do think that the Pelicans they're gonna take it up a notch, man. It's time. And is that a touchdown? That is. LSU just scored a goddamn touchdown. That's what I'm talking about. They just got to score. They just got to score right there. Aaron Anderson, 23-yard touchdown from it. Boy, they've been screwing around all game long. They finally got to score. So that should tie the game right there. Yeah, and they'll kick the field goal that'll tie the game up. So they're going.
Unless they go for 2.
Well, I don't think
are they that type of team?
I don't know. I don't think Brian Kelly gonna try to go for 2. He might. I don't know. But that was a hell of a throw, man. He threw that ball, drew him open. Boy, that was a throw. That was a big time catch by Aaron Anderson. He going for the extra point. Yeah, he gonna take that point, tie it up. Yep, 23 all. They going in overtime.
Taking into overtime.
They going in overtime. There we go.
Well, yeah, the night just got longer.
Hot Bling says, I'm gonna miss Brandon Ingram, DeAndre Ayton, and Zion soon. Yeah, I seen Shaq. Please, no Ayton says, bro.
Yeah, no Ayton. I don't really care for
Ayton's
mentality, man.
Like, I know
he's very. You know what? I think Monty kind of turned him out, and I don't mean that in a like only in basketball terms. Okay.
Hold on, this took a turn here.
No,
this should have took a turn here, Lex.
No, I didn't. That's why I said it the way. I just feel like he didn't use him correctly. He didn't use him correctly at the Suns, man. I feel like he really wasted his talent. He did. And then in turn, you know, Ayton, you are so funny. But yeah, Ayton, he doesn't have any dog. He's his motor is kind of questionable. You know, even when he came out in his presser and he said, you know, call me dominating, no, with Ayton. I was like, okay, dog.
That was lame.
Basketball, okay.
That was lame, bro. For him to say that, though.
Yeah, basically, you know, no diddy. That's probably what I should have said. But yeah, he just because when he came out, after saying that, he didn't look good. It took him some time, but he doesn't know how to put a team on his back. He definitely doesn't know how to do that. I just think, you know, just mentally, he's not where he needs to be at. And yeah, I mean, he is talented, but there's other things other than just talent that you need.
Yeah, and it's the mentality and the attitude which runs teams off about DeAndre Ayton because he definitely got the talent. Mm-hmm. I mean, he has the talent. I remember when he played, he matched up against us, and Big V was guarding him, man. He was cooking B. You know, he was attacking, you know, he was shooting the ball and he was playing, he played really well. When motivated, he can get double doubles for you, but his mental, I don't know, he got a screwed up mentality, man. Yeah. And I don't think Willie Green ain't. See, a guy like if you would get a guy like a DeAndre Ayton and acquire him in a trade, I would feel comfortable with a coach like a Greg Popovich or a Eric Spoelstra, or even you know, a disciplined coach with credentials that can say, listen, bro, you've been playing around in the league for how many years now? And you don't have a championship and you have all these skills, you wasting your time. See, this is what you could have been done. And then Spoelstra shows him championships. Coach Pop shows him championships and shows him what he could be, that kind of stuff. He wouldn't be good for a Willie Green coach. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work at all because Willie doesn't have any credentials.
Yeah, and Willie Green would tell him, hey, you got to figure it out.
Yeah, and James says Pop wouldn't trade for him and Spo would run him off because you got to have the proper mentality. Those type of coaches would be coaches, I would say, well, they could turn a guy like that around because they have the hardware and the resume to make them pay attention. That's not Willie Green. I would advise them to stay away from a DeAndre Ayton trade, because Willie Green is a guy with doesn't have that resume, man. He doesn't have the resume to command respect from those type of players. So, you know, just no disrespect to Willie, it's just, you know, it does work. Bullshit walk, money talk, bullshit walks. And you don't have the resume for it, that people ain't gonna respect you on that line. Yeah. James says they don't turn soft guys to tough guys, they draft tough guys. They got some, it depends, bro, because the dude could ultimately have a heart change. I know we've seen, let's not pretend like we haven't seen this before, right? Where you have a talented player that realizes, hey man, you know what? I want to play for championships. I want to win something. I want to compete. And then the mindset change. We've seen this before.
Sometimes when you put them in that type of situation, because I mean, you look at teams that, you know, that have consistently they lose every year, right? They're in a lottery pick situation, and so when you actually change guys, and actually we saw it with Dallas. No, look at the situation that PJ Washington was in. Look at the situation that Daniel Gafford were in. You changed their situation into a winning situation. You know, I mean, they played some of their best basketball. They played meaningful basketball where it was, you know, they went far in the playoffs. They got to the finals compared to where they were. You know, so sometimes when you do change a man's situation, you know, you'd be surprised, you know, what comes out of players when it's like, man, we have a chance to win. We really have a chance. It's not, I'm playing for something now. I'm not with the team who's playing for nothing, or look, we hope to get to 10 wins. You know what I'm saying? We hope to get into the play-in. These are guys that are hoping. Those are the type, or you probably don't have a chance to get into the play-in, let alone the playoffs. That's the situation that these guys were in. And their situation was, you know, they got traded to a better situation. And it's like, man, we can win. We're playing for something now. That means you're going harder. You're playing with more energy. You're hustling. You're getting after it. So, you know, it makes a difference when you're in a winning situation. And I'm not saying that's with all guys. You know what I'm saying? But that's a situation recently where, you know, they played a whole lot better because, you know, they were in a winning situation. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the environment. So you're absolutely right. I like I said, we've seen this in the deep past. We've seen it in the recent past. For whatever reason, people just decide that they're messing around and they want to win some games. They want to be able to win some hardware. We've seen that happen. So I'm not saying that with
I never said
DeAndre Ayton. I don't think, huh?
No, I was comment on James. No, I never said they were soft. Just taking guys from a different situation and putting them in a better situation. Sometimes you can't see the fullness of players, like what they can give on the court when they're on like a losing team, when there's no expectations on that team. And when you put them in a winning situation, a lot of times guys rise to the occasion. But that wasn't as far as, you know, them being soft. Because I didn't look at those guys as soft, but you know, it makes a huge difference when you're in a winning situation, you're playing for something.
Wyo says y'all think Willie Green last year, if he doesn't get into the top 6. You got to be a playoff team, man. I mean, anything short of that is it's not good. And it's the crazy part about this guy, man, David Griffin, and what he's doing. I mean, he's placed all that on Willie Green. So yeah, if anything, any axe is gonna fall on Willie Green's head. But yeah, they got to be a playoff team. That playing stuff is for the birds. The Pelicans have to get into the playoffs, man. And I want a top 3. I mean, yeah, we got to be up there, man. We got to be top 3, top 4. But what we got here, I mean, every year you go from 49 to 40. You got to get north of 49 games in my book. I mean, we want a team that, like I said, last year, it was the ridiculous stat of losing these moments, the games, in the crutch time moments of the game, the clutch time moments of the game. It would go 22 or 21, whatever it was, and 0-21 or 22, whatever the stupid stat is that they losing all these games. If you win half those games, you're a 59 win team. Half of those games, you 59 wins. So I mean, they got that. That's something that we got to do better, man. We can't. We got to get into the playoffs, man. Enough of this playing nonsense. And with Zion Williamson and DeJounte Murray, you got to raise the stakes. You can't be doing the same shit we did last year. We've added this extra talent. We have to be able to take it to the next level. Go ahead, Lex. What you was gonna say?
Nah, I just think it's funny because the Lakers were a 47-win team, and they were solidified in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? That's what's really crazy. It's like, how did that happen? You know what I'm saying? How did that happen? But yeah, I'm done with the play-in. You know, yeah, that don't, to be a borderline playing team, it needs to be more solidified top 6. Most definitely. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And then the thing is, you had help on last season to make that happen, to solidify, being in the playoffs. So the fact that it didn't happen, it was, that was really disappointing.
Yeah, and then it's the teaser aspect of it too, because we finally had Zion Williamson there, and he was balling. We would have won that game if he'd not gotten hurt. And then you lose him at that point. Then Brandon Ingram is coming back off injury. CJ McCollum you're thinking, they might be able to help until Zion Williamson, and they plan the Zion Williamson going to be ready for the playoffs card. And then they change it from Zion Williamson. You'll have to get through a first round series. He'll be ready for the second round card. They did all that foolishness. So, a lot of this is contingent upon Zion Williamson's health too. And like I said, man, a lot of these players, man, you got to figure out a way to win games when some of our guys are down for small stretches at a time. But at the same, like I said, man, this is Willie Green's fort. Yeah, and it's an elevated sense of urgency here. Like, we got to get some shit going, man. We got to be able to not only just be a playoff team. Like, I agree with James too. Like, get playoffs and getting in the playoffs, and not we get into the playoffs, and we don't want a situation where OKC just runs you out of there, blanks you out of the damn playoffs.
We got to be specific. We don't just want to get to the playoffs.
Right.
We want to win a series, first round series, go to the second round.
Right. Let's revise that. That's
some
right.
Games. Yeah, we got to be specific in our prayers.
That's right. Shout out to Brother James. Brother James says playoffs and second round. So he wants to win a series. I'm good with that, Brother James. You got the hardware to do it, man. You got these guys.
Hey, win the second round. You know what I'm saying? Fool around and win the second round. Come on.
I told DC that. I said, man, listen, if Zion Williamson is healthy,
don't mind.
If Zion Williamson is healthy and he's playing, and that's the thing that he's yet to experience is the playoffs. And that's why, and he's mentioned this before, is that's what the motivating factor of him getting right there and then couldn't get there. He was so frustrated last year. So this set the groundwork for this year, and how he came in the offseason and just prepared himself and to be in excellent shape so he can deal with the rigors of a long season. And of course, it's the issue of how is Zion going to be officiated. That's another thing that we have to watch and see how they do. How is Zion going to be officiated this year?
Big Q. That first preseason game, Zion did not go to the line not one time.
I know.
Not one time.
Yeah, the guy was hacking him on. I was like, yeah, this is
that guy is Banchero. Banchero, he went to the line.
It was wasn't that Jonathan Isaacs got him a couple of times?
Jonathan, he was
acting really good. Got him one time, I remember.
But the fact that he did not go to the line not one time, that's awful, man. I mean, to me, that's like, okay, y'all just determined. This has nothing to do with that. Y'all just determined not to make the call. You know what I'm saying? Because he gets physical down low. And a lot of times, so guys can stop them, they get physical back. I mean, they don't win the battle, but it's like, dude, you gotta make those calls. So that wasn't promising. I don't know if those were rookie refs or what, but that wasn't promising at all to see that he didn't go to the line. I mean, he had 16 points without going to the line. What, 19 minutes?
Yeah, I think it was 19. Yeah, 19
You know what I'm
minutes.
saying? I mean, hey, that just goes to show how gifted that man is, man. Once he starts getting those superstar calls, you know, that changes the complete. That really takes, you know, what he can do for the team to a whole nother level. But they got to start, you know, treating that man with some respect. Because ain't nobody in the league trying to fool with Zion. Ain't nobody trying to fool with him. Shoot, you know, LeBron came out and had some high praise about Zion. You know what I'm
He
saying?
did. I heard what he said. Yeah.
And LeBron knows he's probably still feels when he got trucked. Be like, dog, now that's a freight train. You know how they were always calling LeBron a freight train? Yeah. He probably got a freight train and some and a semi truck. You know what I'm saying? Something for real. Man, did you see how his feet kicked up in the air?
I seen he took him right off his feet.
He was like, and look, he wasn't faking. You know how LeBron be. He'd be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't faking that hit. That was a real hit. I was like, and you take it like a man, Bron. You take it like a man.
Yeah, he was trying to take that charge, man, and Zion took him right off his feet like he was made of paper mache.
Man, they showed that thing in slow motion. I mean, it's almost like he was trying to teach LeBron how to do a backflip.
Yeah, he just ran over LeBron. LeBron ain't exactly made he depleted. LeBron literally left his feet. Yeah, so I mean that was pretty good. Here it is right here. LeBron was talking about it on here, how he took him off his feet. And hold on, let me put a little sound to it. Then we'll listen to LeBron talk about it here. Then we'll leave.
Beast. Zion is a beast. Take nothing away from him. He's a beast, and you can't stop him. You can just try to, hope to contain him.
Zion 9 of 15. He drives inside, and LeBron didn't flinch. Oh yeah, that's a shot.
A guy like Zion who's so athletic, so quick, so versatile. You just try to keep him off balance by, sometimes playing with physicality, sometimes playing with speed, sometimes playing with quickness, sometimes then just playing with the mind. Zion is a beast. Take nothing away from him.
That's LeBron, man. And you can see, man, on the play right here, he just depleted, and they showed in slow-mo and real speed, because you really can't, when they show the slow-mo, but boy, he just took him, he was sitting there waiting for the contact, and he just depleted him.
Well, really,
look at his feet. His feet now.
Because the thing is, he went to the side, but and players do that all the time. But I think just because it was LeBron, they called it a charge.
Yeah, he gets the calls like that, but that's the thing I'm talking about myself is like, how's these calls going to be officiated this year, and we'll have to see how it goes with Zion Williamson, because I'm thinking if Zion Williamson dominates the way we're thinking he should dominate, then the league will get behind him. Like you'll see, like Wembanyama get calls and stuff like that because the league sees them as the superstars, and they get the superstar treatment.
Well, they got a whole country behind them. They gonna give them those calls. They trying to get that money. There's a lot behind. When you look at Doncic, when you look at Jokic, when you look at Wemby, they got countries behind them. You know what I'm saying?
Zion got a country behind him too.
Well, he's global. You understand what I'm saying?
Why all that, Lex?
His market is global, but I mean the thing is that they convincingly. I mean we've seen this. We've seen this from the players, because Giannis. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to treat them. I mean, just think about this. With Giannis, everybody and their mama know that when that man's at the free throw line, he takes more than 10 seconds at that free throw line to shoot that shot. That's a violation. That's a violation. And they count that stuff. But you know why they counted it? He's got grease behind him. Just let him do it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, hey, man, you be surprised. Like money is a big thing. Like that global marketing is huge. It really is. And with these international players, look who are the best players. When the NBA talks about who are the best players in the league, who do they have up there? Who do they have?
No, they got. Well, I know Wemby's up there, but the league. But that's the whole thing too. It's like it's a sensation.
Yeah, the best players in the league right now are overseas cats.
This is true.
Collectively,
this is true. Yeah,
top five, easy. I mean, you can look it up. I mean, it's there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. But I think that, and that's not by design. I mean, they're really trying to grow the game, and that's a part of it. Really boosting up these international players. And I'm not saying that they're horrible. They're not. They got game. They do have game, but oh wow. I see. I was trying to figure out, why are you raising your hand? I was like, is everything okay?
It is now.
Yeah.
It is now.
You know what? You're really talking like LSU was struggling. Didn't I see on there that they were like 4-1?
Yeah, but they left a lot of and look, Lane Kiffin is up. He just down. They had this game. They left a lot of plays on the field, man. Yeah. LSU. This was a game. This is a good game. LSU won.
They finding ways to win, though, right? They finding ways to win. They just gotta keep, continue to get better. Shoot, probably look. Shaq probably went up to all of them. I'm gonna beat you up, boy, if you don't get out there and win this game. I'm sorry, my Shaq voice ain't all the way right.
Yeah, he got to work on your Shaq voice.
But he probably got him and was like, okay, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna work hard, Mr. Shaq O'Neal.
Is that Shaq? Oh, that's the guy talking to Shaq.
The guy talking. Look, them are boys. Don't nobody want none of Shaq.
Okay.
Shaq's a big man. Shaq like 3-4 men put together. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, he towers. Look, he towers and his mass is like on another level. They ain't trying to fool with him. Hey, you better do what you told. Y'all better go out there and play. I didn't come to this game for y'all to lose. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Hey, motivation works.
Oh man! All right, Lex.
To the D line, you know what I'm saying? Well, you got to go out there and you got to push them. You got to give them a love tap.
Okay, all right, Lex is.
That's what Shaq says. He says that. Yeah. That's his phrase.
Barbecue chicken.
Oh yeah, look, yeah, we're gonna give him some little love taps.
Yeah, Shaq did say that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow, since Q, remember when we heard it in the South? Yeah, he said that a couple of what was it, last Sunday? He said that in the Kansas City loss. I won't say he cussed and then apologized. Wasn't it the Kansas City post game? He cussed. No. It was the Atlanta post game. He cursed. Yeah. He cursed, and I was like, and people that wasn't even a story. It's like, you're a possum, so we don't really care about that. But anyway, family, we're gonna get ready to get out on that. Listen, congratulations to our Fighting Tigers. LSU has won the game 29-26. They're 5-1, 2-0 in conference play. Yes, round of applause for the Tigers, man. Shout out. They hung in there. They gave interceptions, Ole Miss dropped a touchdown. A guy at the start of the first series, the guy was wide open. He dropped it. They missed a field goal. They got stopped on a 4th and goal play. Ole Miss, that is. LSU had interceptions and all this, but they still were able to beat. Now, Ole Miss is 9th ranked, so LSU's 13th ranked, so they should climb a bit in the polls. And remember how it's set up in the playoff system, man. They have an opportunity. Now, this year I didn't see them as a championship team because I don't think the defense was going to be as great, but half the defense of what they were last year should be able to get you there. And Nussmeier's numbers are some of the best in the nation, if you think about it. I don't think he'll be considered for no Heisman, but then again, we still got a lot of time left. And if they let him wing it like he's doing, man, he might put up some pretty good numbers. But look at that crowd in Death Valley, man. Yeah, that's the best time right there, man. All right, so anyway, man, we're going to get out on that. Lex, shout out to you for that great Shaquille O'Neal impersonation. Shout out to you all there.
Don't take it literal. I wasn't really trying to get
hold on, Lex. Before we end the stream, could you drop some game for the Pelicans, motivate them as they're going forward? What would Shaquille O'Neal say to motivate the Pelicans, in your opinion, in your Shaq voice?
My voice is not deep enough. Okay, my voice ain't deep enough. Like, you all got to play with violence. You got to play with violence, all right? Go out there and play with violence. Give him a little love tap. Smack him around. Smack him around.
All right, there you go. Y'all, hope y'all like that. That was pretty good, Lex. Shout out to my girl, Lex. All right, we're going to get out on that. Listen, we appreciate y'all for chiming in. Much love to the fam, man. Y'all hit the like button, man. Hit the subscribe button. We're going to holler at y'all on the next one. The next show, man, we're going to open up the phone lines. Matter of fact, the Pelicans play tomorrow, fam. On Sunday night, it's a 2:30 tip-off time for the game. So that game's going to be playing.
That Central or no, wait, that's Eastern. Right?
Yeah. For me, it's 2:30. It's showing the Central time. For you, it's more than likely going to be 1:30. Okay. So, that'll be. But we'll be back tomorrow, fam, to recap the Heats and Pelicans game. We'll open up the lines for the family members to chime in too. So all you family members, Brother James and Brother Slim and everybody, y'all want to get in there and get your thoughts on it. Be real cool. We'll be able to do that right after the Pelicans get this W against the Heat. We'll open up the lines of communication for you guys to kind of talk about the Pels, man. We'll do that tomorrow. So with that being said, we're going to see y'all tomorrow on PPR Final. Much love to the fam. Who dat? And we out. Peace.
Show us the edge. Yes. The chip on the shoulders, the fight and the passion that comes from within. Whoa. Try to win on every level. Yeah. Expectations high. Show them you can fly. Play harder, better, smarter. Baby, put the league on notice. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Whoa, done seen the walk of shame enough. Wanna see the walk of winning, time to come up and bring out the alcohol. Don't every play, every possession. How bad you want it, love, do you want it all? This ain't a blood of love, been built for something greater. Attacking all obstacles, coming for the ring, my precious. You got the juice, the will, the heart, the fire. Show them the proof, show them the it shall be done. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah.
You're listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network. For all things Pelicans.
thewhothatdaily.com. That's right, thewhothatdaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, whothatdaily.com is your site. Thewhothatdaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to